Okay, so welcome to our Module 3 discussion. The topic is when to do and how to use a feasibility study. Now, based on our previous discussion, sabi natin, a feasibility study investigates the viability of a potential business. Now, since we are investigating or testing the viability or the profitability of potential business venture, no, we are doing this before we put up our business. Diba? Kasi what's the point, diba? What's the point if we're going to put the business and then do the feasibility study. Now, our feasibility study, guys, is very important, no? To the extent na it somewhat reduce yung risk of failure. Reduce the risk and yung possibility of failure. No? That's why, no, that's why we do a feasibility study. Now, sabi nila, kailan ba? Diba? Kailan ba? Kailan ba tayo dapat mag-conduct ng feasibility study? Since ang sabi nga natin kanina, since we are investigating the viability of the potential business venture, ayan, so we have to do a feasibility study before, ayan, ayun, highlight natin, before committing business resources, time, and budget. Meaning to say, bago tayo gumamit ng ating mga resources, ng ating oras at ng budget. So, ibig sabihin, gagawin talaga natin to bago itayo ang isang negosyo. Actually, pangmayaman, no? Actually, talagang pisig mo na bago i-materialize yung business. Para kahit pa paano, medyo mataas yung kumpiyansa natin that the said proposed business or potential business will really become profitable. Oo. Okay, I hope na medyo nagkaintindihan tayo, no? Now, along the way, while doing the feasibility study, no, meron tayong mga ma-uncover dyan na mga ideas, no, na eventually ma-realize natin those new ideas na na-discover natin, better doon sa ginamit natin, no, sa ating proposed marketing strategy o doon sa strategy na i-implement sana natin with our potential business. So, ang tendency, ma-update pa natin siya. Diba? Kasi mas maganda yung idea na to. So, kesa yung dating idea pa rin na sundin natin, i-update na natin yung ating program o yung ating proposal. So, that's why having a feasibility study is gusto ko sanang sabihin na it's a must, no? Kasi talaga namang napakaganda. Okay, napakaganda kung kailan tayo dapat mag-conduct ng feasibility study. Okay? That's it, na? So, ano naman yung mga typical steps? Yan. In a feasibility study. Yan. So, ito naman siya. So, meron tayong 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 typical steps. Okay? Step number 1 is that we do a preliminary analysis. Ito yun. So, ano ginagawa natin in a preliminary analysis? Diba? From the term itself, preliminary, before. Diba? This preliminary analysis is we are doing an evaluation on a pre-feasibility study. Okay, dito we discuss certain business ideas or scenarios. So talagang titingnan natin, okay ba talaga or what? 'Di ba? During this step, no, ang ginagawa natin kasi is talagang imbestigahan muna natin. Okay? Imbestigahan natin kung ano yung mga possibilities, ano yung mga possible scenarios, ano kaya yung magiging posisyon ng ating business just in case, 'di ba? At ang isa sa pinakamalaking tanong is, meron ba talagang market para sa ating product? 'Di ba? At kung may market, how big or how small, 'di ba? At saka syempre sa business, kailangan may makita tayong something new. Diba? Ano kaya yung innovation na pwede nating ma-inject dito sa ating bagong business? Kasi alam naman natin na ang mga consumers, no, they like something new. Tayo naman, as proponents, we also like to propose something new. So that goes for preliminary analysis. The second one is market assessment. In the preliminary analysis, no, kaduktong na talaga nito is yung market assessment. So dito we are going to conduct yung study, okay, or an assessment para makita naman natin kung talagang viable ba yung product natin sa marketplace. Nagma-match ba yung product natin sa need ng marketplace? Kasi just imagine if the product, no, is not suitable for the market, sayang lang. 'Di ba? We are just wasting our time, money and effort kapag ka nangyari 'yon. So, yung gastos, 'di ba? Nandoon, masasayang lahat 'yon. 'Di ba? Hindi natin pwedeng i-offer yung isang product na hindi naman talaga ang kailangan ng market. That's why we do market assessment to see whether yung bang product talaga natin matches with the needs. Now, another thing na ginagawa natin in market assessment is that tinitingnan na rin natin kung sino yung market, ano yung kanyang profile, 'di ba? Ano yung profile ni market? Gaano ba siya kadami, gaano kalaki? Yung growth rate niya, kumusta naman? Maganda ba yung kanyang growth rate? 'Di ba? So sa portion na to, information is very essential. Okay? Okay, so that goes for market assessment. The third one is the organizational structure. In this area, ang titignan naman natin dito, yung ating organization. Okay? Sir, paano ba? Gaano ba kalaki yung ating organization? How many manpower do we need? Okay? Hindi naman ito the more the merrier. Diba? We need to be very specific. We need to determine the exact number of personnel or staff that is needed to do our business. Hindi dahil mas maraming empleyado ay mas productive na. Okay? So dito, you need to determine yung staffing requirements. So, sa staffing requirements, that includes determining the position as well as the corresponding requirements or criteria para dun sa position na yon. Okay? Siyempre, papasok na dito yung alignment ng kanyang skills o kanyang knowledge with the position. Okay? Kaya dito, magiging very critical tayo sa pagde-determine kung ano-ano yung mga kailangan nating personnel at saka yung pagkuha, no, ng mga applicants with the needed qualifications. Okay? And so that goes for your organizational structure. Okay. Number 4 is the financial control. Natural. When somebody would like to put up a business, ang unang tinitingnan niya is the financial aspects, no? Magiging profitable ba siya? Okay? And to ensure profitability, kailangan siyempre meron tayong mga protocols na kailangang i-establish pagdating lalo sa financial. So, dito papasok si financial control. Now, in our effort, no, to maximize or in our effort to generate more revenues, 'di ba? Merong mga expenses 'yan. And one way to maximize your profit is by minimizing your expenses. Sabi nga nila, hindi baling maliit ang benta, basta maliit lang ang gastos. Kasi kapag kinumpit mo naman yon, kahit na medyo mababa ang sales, kung mababa rin naman ang expenses, may kita pa rin, maganda pa rin. So dito, magsaset tayo ng mga financial controls natin, no? Sa PSIB, magsaset na tayo dito ng ating mga assumptions. Okay? Okay, so that goes for the financial control. Okay, so for number 5, points of vulnerability. So what are those area in which the potential business is vulnerable? Diba? So first things first, you need to identify what are those points of vulnerability. It's either we control them or mas better if we can eliminate it. Okay? Now, I guess knowing those points of vulnerability is a good step para ma-eliminate siya. Or, kung hindi man siya ma-eliminate, is that we can improve those points para hindi na siya maging butas ng ating potential business. Diba? Kasi imagine, you already know what are those points of vulnerability. What are those area in which we are vulnerable. So, I guess we can do something about it para hindi na siya maka-apekto sa atin. Diba? From negative to positive. So, something like that. Okay? So, in a feasibility study, malalaman mo yan. Sabi nga nila sa salitang kalye, makikita mo kung ano yung mga butas. So, mapapatch mo na siya. Para hindi na siya magka-problema. Ayan. So, yun naman yung points of vulnerability. For results and conclusion, ito na yung pinakadulong parte ng ating feasibility study. Siyempre, we need to gather all the data, interpret it, tapos we are going to present the data or the results. So, dito, sa portion na to, mainam if we can outline, outline those results and our conclusions para sa iba't ibang mga areas para nang sa ganun, mas maaral natin siya ng gusto. No? Hindi na ito katulad nung mga ginagawa natin before na kapag sinabing conclusion, I therefore conclude, mga ganun-ganun. Hindi na. Dito, we have to be very specific and our conclusions, and our conclusions, dapat based on facts. Okay? Hindi naman kokopyahin lang natin siya. No? Hindi. Kasi, in your conclusion, you have to fully understand the data at kung ano yung sinasabi ng data bago tayo mag-conclude. Okay? Hindi tayo pwedeng mag-jump into conclusion na, nakita natin, mataas yung ganito, mataas yung ganyan. But the thing is, mataas nga yung sales, mataas din naman yung cost. So, what's the point, di ba? Yan. So, that's why, pagdating dito sa portion na to, di ba, we are going to present, we are going to present yung complete result ng ating feasibility study. And then, saka natin titingnan at i-interpret yung data. Okay? Okay. And so that goes for results and conclusions. Finally, go, no-go decision. Dito, syempre, critical to no? Mula sa step number 1 hanggang sa step number 5, kailangan maging very particular talaga tayo. Why? Kasi it's a major decision now whether to continue or not, yung ating potential business. Okay? Makakatulong sa atin yung presentation ng results at saka ng conclusion para dito. Okay? We need to be very particular about our decision because there's no turning back. If you decided na to go, to continue, okay, gagastos tayo dito, diba? Let's say naman, sabi mo na, no go, okay? Hinto natin. Siyempre, kung hihinto mo naman, you lose something. Diba? Yung opportunity cost na nawala naman yun sa'yo. At saka paano kung maganda pala, diba? Baka manghinayang ka. Okay? Ayan. So, ito guys, yung 6 typical steps to a feasibility study. Okay? Pagtuduktong-duktongin na lang natin yan. Okay. Next. Okay. For module number 4, organization and management study. Now, in this area naman, ang bibigyan naman natin ng emphasis ay yung organization and management study. To be specific, yung different forms of business organization. Okay? Dito, syempre, sa organizations and management, magde-decide kasi tayo yung ating magiging form of ownership. Diba? Would it be sole proprietorship, partnership, limited liability company, or a corporation? Okay? So let's start with the first one, which is the sole proprietorship. From the term itself, sole, ibig sabihin, isa lang. Okay? A sole proprietorship is an unincorporated company that is owned by one individual or pwede rin namang one family. Okay? So, it is considered as the simplest, no? The most simple or the simplest type of business. Okay? Dito kasi guys, yung buong investment, yung buong investments ay manggagaling sa isang tao o sa isang kumpanya lang. Now, ganun din, kapag ka naman sila ay kumita, kanila din yung kita. Solo lang din nila. So, kumbaga, balikatan lang. Okay? Solo nila yung potential threat, solo din nila yung income. Okay? Ngayon, unlike partnerships or corporations, under sole proprietorship, no, they do not separate legal entity on the business. Kung ano pangalan mo, ikaw yung business. Kasi ikaw yung pinaka-head. No? Hindi katulad sa iba, sa korporasyon, iba yung personalidad ng korporasyon, iba yung personalidad ng mga shareholders. No? Hindi pareho. Okay? Ngayon, if you want full control of your business and you have the means naman to finance, go for sole proprietorship. And besides, pagdating sa tax system, personal income taxation ang ginagamit lang sa kanya. So, okay pa rin. 'Di ba? Meron siyang meron siyang exemption, 'di ba? So, kung nasa Pilipinas tayo, matik 50,000 kagad ang kanyang exemption. Okay? Ayan. So, that goes for sole proprietorship. The next one is partnership. So, sa partnership, two or more individual bind themselves into one, di ba? Having common idea, ganon, with the intention of sharing profits among themselves as well as yung liability. Yan. Now, maraming klase ng partnership. Okay? So, pinaka-common is the general partnership. Sabi nila, the general partnership is the easiest type of partnership as to form. Okay? Kasi konti lang din naman yung mga requirements, basic lang. Tapos, lahat ay pwedeng pag-usapan na equally divided. Okay? Sabi nga, each partner here is considered as participating in the operations of the business. And there is unlimited liability. Yun. Kung meron kang unlimited income, meron ka ding unlimited liability. Yun ang setback naman ng general partnership. Okay? Kaya lang, pagkita nga, solo mo din naman. Di ba? So, kumbaga, okay lang. Di ba? 5 man ang mata. Okay? 5 man ang mata mo. Pagdating sa partnership, lahat kayo 5-5 pa rin. Kasi nga pantay-pantay. Okay? So, parang ganyan yan. Ngayon, pwede rin naman kung ayaw ng general partnership, edi limited partnership na lang. Sa limited partnership kasi, kailangan lang naman at least yung isa general. Then the rest limited na. Siyempre, from the term itself, limited, may konting bentahe yung general. Yung general partner. Mas may matatanggap siya. Okay? Kaya lang, si limited, may din naman siya, may advantage din. No? Bakit? Kasi in case na malugi, hindi na siya pwedeng habulin sa kanyang personal na property. Ganun lang yon. Kumbaga, may utang ka, bayad ka. Ganun talaga. Pwede rin naman kung limited liability partnership. Dito, similar with general partnership where multiple partners are each responsible for the operations of the business. However, in limited liability partnerships are not personally responsible for the actions of other partners. So, yun naman ang pagkakaiba niya. Okay? Sa atin kasi, kapag sinabing limited partner, medyo may pakialam pa rin tayo dyan. Kasi, they're still part of the company. Okay? Next is yung limited liability company. Si limited liability company is one of the most flexible type of business. Because this one is a combined aspects ng partnership at corporation. So, ibig sabihin, they can retain their tax benefits, no, ng sole proprietorship and the limited liability of corporation. So, ganyan ang limited liability company. Medyo, sir, kaya pala nung tinanong ko, sabi niya magastos nga daw. Okay, ganun pala yun. Kasi nga, pag kinumbay natin yung best attributes ng dalawa, talagang yun, no, katulad na lang nun, ako yung taxes, di ba? Kailangan mabayaran mo yan. Wala namang hahaan sa'yo, ano? Sasalba sa'yo dyan. Number 4 is a corporation. So, corporation is a separate legal entity created by shareholders, incorporating business, protect owner from being personally liable for the company's debt of legal disputes. Now, paano ba gagawin natin dito? No? Sa corporation, pwedeng 5 hanggang 15, pwede rin naman mas konti, depende sa klase ng korporasyon. A C corporation is the most common form of incorporation. The corporation is tax of sorry. The corporation is taxed as a business entity and owners receive profits that are then also taxed individually. Si S corporation naman ay similar to C corporation but may only consist of up to 100 shareholders. So yun yung pinagkaiba niya. May limit yung number of shareholders up to 100. Now, there is also this OPC or one person corporation. Ayan. Parang hirap nun, no? One man team. Ayan. So, dito, it's a corporation with a single stockholders who can only be a natural person. Okay, natural person. So, talagang ano rin, no? You have to do the documentations pa rin naman. And of course, it should be of legal age. Okay? As an incorporator, yung trust, okay, as used by the law, does not refer to trust entity, but the subject being managed by a trustee. So, yung trust is being managed by the trustees. So, tao yun. Okay? So, ang tanong ngayon, alin dito ang sa'yo? Diba? Alin dito ang sa iyo? Anong business org ang iyong pipiliin? Okay? Ngayon, hindi ko nasama yung slide no? Thank you ng kasunod Ayan. So, yung organizational structure, ayan, pwede tayo mamili niyan. So, by next meeting, we're going to focus on it. Okay? So, again, thank you very much, guys. And see you. Bye-bye.